Good morning everybody. Thank you for inviting me today to speak about my experience as a club president. I was hesitant when asked to be a club president as I have a significant disability. I am completely deaf. I lost my hearing at 27. I do rely on lip reading and using British Sign Language. I'd also only been a Rotarian for 1 year in my own right, but looked on and thought, I'll make it work. I accepted the elect chain and addressed my club with things that I felt would need to change, adjustments that I might need to have made to be able to chair meetings and direct the club. Despite being an ageing club, someone stood straight up and said, if you have the courage to do the job, then we will have the courage to support you and accept the changes. I introduced a system called RedCat, which has great clarity and is used in deaf schools. It is a microphone system and very affordable. We started using live captions, introduced Zoom meetings with live captions that were recorded so people could catch up afterwards and listen to them again. It was apparent that although I'd made the changes to suit myself, my club were benefiting greatly and it was starting to enhance their club experience again. I then wondered what about other clubs in 1040. Over the years that I've spent learning British Sign Language, my deaf teachers have been astounded at how much voluntary work I do and what Rotary are involved in. They came with me to a cooking project in Bradford where they taught children British Sign Language and they in turn learned about food poverty. Afterwards they said, we'd like to join this Rotary. However, most deaf teachers are BSL native, which actually means they have been deaf from birth and have very limited language. So communication with a regular club wouldn't be easy. Rotary doesn't even have a basic rule about the need to have live captions in a meeting. How would a club communicate with these people? Deafness isn't spoken about easily. Jokes are made, leaving the sufferer feeling very insecure. And deafness really is one of the truly invisible disabilities. I decided to use my ear to talk openly to clubs, WI, in a wheel, anybody that would listen really. I made super friends, including your own immediate past District Governor, Philip Wilborn, and his wife, Elaine. They embraced my difficulties the very first time we met and have helped me on many occasions. As a deaf person, I am no stranger to winging it. I make my mistakes often, but I piece things together and eventually work my way through, and I try to be secure of an answer before I give it. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with turning up the television or putting on the subtitles for a relative. During my husband's DG training in Orlando, I remember being introduced to somebody called Gordon one night, who actually turned out to be the Rotary International President, Gordon McAnally. It was at a barbecue one evening, and the biggest problem with the word evening is it is dark outside and lip readers struggle, particularly if there's a light behind the person. So I was trying to think hard what to do when my husband nipped to get the drinks, and I said, so Gordon, what do you do in Rotary? I could tell when my husband walked back towards me, the horror on his face, I'd missed a big chunk of the introduction, and it was repeated. I hope all of those that met me, and I'm sure many of you have during my president year, saw me just more than a president with a disability, but a president that had courage to help others and to bring this disability to the forefront. As a president, I had two amazing things given to me that year. One was a Paul Harris Fellow and one was a cochlear implant, which has been life-changing. I feel I can give so much more, and I'll stand as club president again. I like to feel that Rotary embraces disabilities and want to teach clubs that it is our responsibility to provide an environment for the deaf people can be included and become part of our larger, amazing Rotary family. Will you do that with me?